Crazy Tasia movie guy here again, and in this one, I'm talking about one of my favorite movies, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, and and it's 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 about this guy who works for this racer, but then the racer leaves, so it's up, so they tell Will Ferrell's character Ricky Bobby to drive the car. I mean to race the NASCAR, and he ends up becoming in third. He ends up becoming in third, and he gets right popular and famous, and then he meets up with his father, who actually told him when he was younger, if you're not first, you're last. And he keeps saying that phrase throughout the movie, like so many scenes. He says, "If you're not first, you're last." Then he has his best friend with him, and his best friend is really cool with him. And then there's even a scene where the woman tells where because Ricky Bobby crashes and he thinks he's on fire. You remember that scene? He thinks he's on fire. He's like, "I'm on fire! I'm on fire! Help me, Tom Cruise! Use your witchcraft!" You remember that scene? Use your witchcraft. Tom Cruise, you know, and then one of those managers tries to get Ricky Bobby's wife to go out with I forget his name, but then he comes home and he's like, "I've been gone only 2 hours," and he's like, because he tells them that he's marrying his wife and all that, mainly because his wife is told that Ricky Bobby's best friend is going to be at the top of the level, and you know the guy that starred as Borat. You know the guy that starred as Borat. He's in here as a Frenchman, and you all know the scene where they're in the bar, and he gets into a fight with the Frenchman. The Frenchman. He gets into an argument and a fight. Then there's that scene where he's got the guy's arm. He's got the guy's arm, and he's like, "I will let go if you say you like uh, crepes or something like that." And he tells them they're like pancakes and all that. But then he's like, "You know what? Why don't you just break my arm?" And he breaks his arm, and then he goes to the hospital, and and his two good friends, his best friend, he tells them, he tells them, oh man, I forgot. He says he thinks he's paralyzed, and he tells them, "I'm paralyzed. I'm paralyzed." And then he grabs a knife and says, "You want to see what my life is like?" Stabs himself in the leg because he thinks he's paralyzed. And then he's like, "Ah!" And then Ricky Bobby, who falls in love with with one of his, I forget what she does in the movie, I think she works for Ricky Bobby. I think so. And then his father comes back, and then there's the scene where he brings a tiger, and he's like, you have to work through the fear." And Ricky Bobby's like, "There's a frigging tiger in there." And then he opens the door, and the tiger attacks him and shit. And and then And then Ricky Bobby talks to the Frenchman, the one that's the opposing racer for NASCAR, and he's like, he says his life is like, he says it's like he feels like like the Highlander, the Highlander, the Highlander, and then he's like, you know, the Highlander movie, the one that won for Best Actor at the Academy Awards. And then there's that scene where before he talks to her, he's on he's playing the NASCAR game at the arcade, and at the end, because he gets in last place, the Frenchman has the pops up on the screen, and he's like, "Is this Ricky Bobby? Hey, that's a good impression. We just happen to be Ricky Bobby. Haha, you are Ricky Bobby." That's pretty cool, eh? And then around the end, the NASCAR, like, he's going to lose, but then his best friend does the what's it called? Shake and bake. That's what he says, shake and bake. And then he lets Ricky Bobby win. You know? And he's like, shake and bake. And then the Frenchman and him end up crashing. They end up crashing, and they end up crashing together. They get out of their cars, and they think they're still racing, so they start like running, because their cars are totaled. So he starts running and running and running and running, and then they jump, and Ricky Bobby's hand goes to the very last line, and he makes it. And then, you know, spoiler, Ricky Bobby ends up kissing the Frenchman. Anyway, thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the future. Wait, before you go, there it is. If you're not first, you're last. Because that's what he's been doing. That's his saying. If you're not first, you're last. Well, thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you in the future.